Hey Mr. Machado, for my Make Something project for electrical engineering, I made this here robot. I found the design for it in this book by Laurens Valk that I found on one of my shelves. This robot is made of a Mindstorms EV3 robotics kit, which is like a robotics kit except most of the parts are LEGO parts. But there are other other electrical parts. For example, there's two large motors that operate the treads, a medium motor that operates the claw mechanism, both closing the claw and then lifting it up into the air. There's a color sensor on the bottom of the robot used for pathfinding, an infrared sensor which receives directions from the remote control, which is included. Over around the back, there's a touch sensor which is used to gauge the range of the claw. And finally, there's of course the brain on the back, which provides power and directs all of the various functions of the robot. The way this robot moves is pretty interesting. For the treads, an axle just runs through this large motor here, through the front wheel connected to the tread, and the back wheel is simply free spinning on an axle that's not connected to anything. So these motors on both sides, because there's one mirroring this on the opposite side, the motors are able to operate the treads fairly simply. The claw mechanism is much more complicated. What this medium motor is responsible for doing is both closing the claw and then moving the claw into the air. It uses a combination of gears and just pulling back on the device to bring the claw into the air. And it does the same thing going in reverse. The motion is just reversed. Using my computer over here and the specialized software for this robotics kit, I created two programs for the robot. The first one is a pretty simple one and allows me to remote control the robot with a infrared signal emitting remote control, which allows me to give directions, right? So I can, of course, turn it, I can move it forward. Hopefully I'll be successful in picking something up. So there's, of course, there's turning motion, there's forward motion, there's backwards motion, and of course, after picking something up, I can then put it down. All with this remote control. The second program I created for the robot is way more interesting than the first. What I've done is I've fastened my infrared remote control with some wings made from extra parts, and what I'll do is I will have it continuously emit an infrared signal. Now what this program allows the robot to do is track down that infrared remote control using its infrared sensor here on the front. Now if I hit start, it should, well, first what it will do is it will reset the claw by first lifting it, then putting it down, just to make sure it's calibrated properly. Now it's spinning in a circle, attempting to find where it is emitting from, and is beeping whenever it is finding a more accurate angle. Now it's going to attempt to grab the remote. It says detected, it will pick it up, and then bring it back to me. Alright, that's what I made. Have a good one, Mr. Machado, and go Bears.